Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. And we'd love to hear from you during the hour, either by phone or by email. The telephone number is up there, and we've actually had a caller already, but may call back. Probably will call back. There's the phone number up there that you can call. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. So hope you'll give us a call or send us an email during this next hour. I have something in here I was asked to remind folks about, and I will. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is now accepting applications for heat assistance for low-income people. We'll talk about that a little more. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken. You're on and loud and clear.
Well, I try to be loud and I try to be clear as best I can.
Yes, sir. I was late yesterday because, like I said, I was on a long-distance chat.
Right, I know. Some things take priority.
Yes, but, your show is still number one in my book, but I have to prioritize everything now.
Well, we understand that. I mean, I can imagine what would happen if the lady in the Philippines, to whom you obviously have made a very serious commitment, and fine and good for you. But I can imagine what would happen if she called you up to discuss something important and you said, I can't talk to you right now. Star Talk is on. I can see that would be a problem, so I understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
No, but I did tell her about Star Talk. She says she is priority number one. You are number down the list.
Yeah, well, probably pretty far down the list. I am on most lists. Your list, on my wife's list, on the list of everybody except the IRS. I'm pretty close to the top on the list of the folks at the IRS. In fact, I wish I could get a little lower on that list.
Don't worry. I got good tidings with them.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that, because they don't send out, in my experience, when you get that envelope with the cellophane window, that when two cellophane windows, one has your address and one has the return address, the IRS, normally that is not a letter that contains good tidings of great joy.
Well, I've got a good understanding with Uncle Sam.
All right. Well, at least somebody does. That makes one of you.
Well, I send him money until the end of the year. Come March, he sends me a whole lot back.
I have that understanding. In fact, I have a more complex understanding. I send him money until the end of the year, and then after the first of the year, I send him some more. Is my understanding with him.
Well, I'll talk to him on your behalf.
Please do.
Well, most likely, I have not attacked nobody this week. I have not thrown anybody under the bus.
I have to disagree. I'm sorry. Have to disagree. I believe last night you threw somebody under the bus. Don't you remember last night throwing somebody under
Patrick
the bus?
Mahomes.
A certain quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you threw him pretty far under the bus.
Well, I also threw him under the steamroller.
All right. Well, then I believe you need to amend your earlier comment.
Yes, I will. But I got a message for the Grinch.
A message for the Grinch? Okay.
Don't cause no trouble this year, or me and you are going to take a fishing trip to Chicago.
Okay. Now, am I wrong, or didn't the Grinch, by the end of the story, didn't the Grinch reform, and didn't he come to like and enjoy Christmas? Isn't the Grinch now a good guy?
Not in my book.
Okay, well, so you don't believe in forgiveness, live and let live.
Oh, I
Yes.
believe in forgiveness, but in other words, once a thief, always sometimes a thief, but you always got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, but he brought all the gifts back though, right? And everybody got their gifts. That's the way I saw it.
Well, yes, he did. So most likely you got me again.
All right, that's twice. That's twice. So anyway, I understand that some people might harbor ill will against the Grinch because he did some pretty nasty stuff, but he did figure it out there at the end, and he turned into a better man. Well, not man, better
You mean Grinch?
whatever
He's a
species.
Grinch. He's a hairy Grinch.
Yeah, well, whatever. He turned into a better one than he had been.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't bet the farm on it.
Okay. All right. Trust, but verify, as Ronald Reagan used to say.
Oh yeah, the guy had better sense than the Grinch. And no, I'm not trying to start trouble tonight.
Well, no, I don't think you'd start trouble with that.
Well, see, I had not picked on Pretty Man here lately because that four-legged Chihuahua ain't worth mentioning anymore.
Yeah, I wish you hadn't mentioned Pretty Man because now he's going to call. He's got a voice changer that he's been using that I guess one of his kids showed him how to use. And he's been calling with this stupid voice changer and really is annoying when he calls. And now that you've mentioned him, he's probably going to call tonight. And I wish you hadn't done that.
Well, tell him don't make nothing of it because I am not scared of that four-legged Chihuahua.
All right. Well, he's probably making a note of that as himself, even as we speak.
Well, if he's got something to say, tell him he needs to come say it to me to my face instead of hiding behind a microphone, a voice changer, like a coward.
Would you? Does that mean you're offering him a free chicken dinner?
No, I'll give him a lump of coal.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll note that, and thank you very much for calling.
Bye, sir.
Good night. Okay, I'm trying to keep that situation under control. As I was saying, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is now taking applications for heating assistance for folks in the winter who have trouble paying for heat. Here's who is eligible for that. Eligible households will include a member who is 60 years old or older, or a person with a disability receiving services through the Division of Aging in North Carolina. The household also has to contain at least one U.S. citizen or eligible non-citizen and have income at or below 130% of the federal poverty level. Now, if you are eligible to receive heating assistance, the payment will be made directly to your heating provider. The payment doesn't come to you. It goes to the gas company or the oil company or whoever is providing you with heat for your home. That's where the payment will go directly from the state. Applications will start on January 2nd, the second day of the year. January 2nd is when you can begin applying and will be accepted through March 31st, 2026. And you can get information at your local Department of Social Services is where you can inquire about that. And I know that's important for some people. And if it's important for you and you need it, then you ought to find out about it and apply. And again, you can learn about it at the Department of Social Services. And the application period begins on January 2nd. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, it's Mark from Marion.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, I hear I hear y'all's Christmas party is next Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Well, you're telling me I'm learning it from you because nobody had told me yet.
I think it's what y'all said there. I think it's going to be on TV or whatever, I think.
That's Tuesday morning, the 22nd?
Third.
23rd. Tuesday the 23rd at 10 a.m. Well, I'm glad you told me, Mark, because they wouldn't have told me. They would have had the party without telling me, and I would have missed it entirely, but I appreciate your telling me.
I think it's what Charles said. Just get back with Charles and make sure. I think it's what he told me. I hope I'm right.
Well, I'll check on that. I will. That'll be a lot of fun, as it sometimes is.
Yeah, and then tonight's the finale of The Voice. Tonight's the last night.
Oh, really? Is your favorite still in the running?
I think they'll find out tonight. I like Deck of Hearts. There's another guy named Max Chambers. I like him. And then a guy named Ralph something. Ralph Edwards. I like him. So
Okay.
it's about three of them I like.
Well, I hope one of your favorites will win.
Yeah. And don't forget to mention the stew and stuff.
Oh, I won't forget. Now that you've reminded me, I'll mention the stews in just a second.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks again.
Well, thank you, Mark. Good to hear from you. And Mark wants me to mention the stews, and that's good that Mark reminds me of these things. Because in my declining years, I sometimes forget to do this stuff. Stew, coming up on February 7th at the Sandy Ridge Community Building. This February the 7th stew is $7 a quart. And you can call 336-871-3821 and talk to David Manuel. You can reserve yourself a quart of stew or get other information about that. And that happens on February 7th. And we'll get to the other thing in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello? Hello? All right. Well, the caller doesn't seem to be there. Okay, phone line is open. There's the number up there. On December 20th. We'll try it again. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Early Bird. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right, I guess. What do you think about that insurance? What they gonna do, that health insurance?
Well, I don't know for sure what it is. We don't know yet if the Senate. I'm assuming the Senate will pass that bill from the House. They haven't done it yet, but assuming they do, then it looks like Affordable Care Act premiums are going to go up quite a bit on January 1st when those enhanced subsidies end. There will be a couple of things that might mitigate the premium increases, but they almost certainly are going to go up for most people. I think that's what we have to expect.
Is it like going to the doctor?
Well, that's the insurance premium. Now, again, we're talking
Usually
about...
mine's free. I don't pay enough to see my doctor, but I'll probably have to start paying him more.
Well, the change will be not in the amount that the insurance pays, but in the premium that you pay for the insurance. Now, do you have insurance through the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah, no, I got mine when I retired at United Healthcare, I guess.
Oh, okay. So that's employer insurance. Well, then that shouldn't have any effect on your insurance then.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Now,
good. I'm glad
yours may go up some because almost all insurance goes up some every year, but it's not going to go up. It's not going to shouldn't go up a whole lot because it's not part of ACA.
Yeah. Well, I hate to bring this up, but that was bad about that boy killing his mom and daddy.
Oh
That guy
gosh.
made them movies and all that stuff.
Rob Reiner and his wife.
Yeah,
That's an awful, awful, sad situation, and
that is. Man.
that the young man, the son, of course, has had serious problems all
They
his
say he's
life,
had
and
demons and stuff.
they thought, I think they thought a lot of that was behind him, and then this
Mhm.
happens. I mean, you just have to pray
Yeah,
for all those folks.
yeah, I do too. I really didn't like the way Trump handled his question. You know, when they asked him, he just should have said he was sorry about him passing away instead of
Yeah,
way he presented it.
I think that right there would have been enough for the president to say.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he shouldn't have really said what he said. I mean, but that's Trump. But I mean, it's, I just hate it. But anyway, kid, I'm gonna get off on this. Somebody call me, and I'll talk to you later.
Well, thank you for calling. Good to hear from you. Um, the other thing was the free chicken and dumplings on December 20th, the Mayadan Boy Scout hut. To thank all the folks who have supported the Mayadan Boy Scouts over the years. Free, that's right, free chicken and dumplings at the Mayadan Boy Scout hut on December 20th. And if you want more information, you can call 336-949-4248 and talk to Kelly. All right. Phone line is open. There's a telephone number up there that you can call, and the email address is keneccleslive@gmail.com. And of course, I've dislodged my earbud again, but let's put that back in and answer the phone. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, kid, how you doing? It's Ralph.
Hey, Ralph. How are you?
Look, I appreciate you checking in on my tobacco.
Well, you're welcome.
I don't understand what you're talking about. What are they doing? I mean,
Okay. Well, there are. I think there's 3 companies in there. Hang on, Ralph. I just knocked my earbud out again.
Go ahead.
I got to be more careful with this thing.
That's all right. You go ahead, buddy.
All right, now we're good. One of the companies does fulfillment for online sales. That is, if somebody goes to this, and I'm not sure which website it is, but if somebody goes to a website and buys something, then the company that actually, the people who actually package the thing up and send it to the buyer is there in that Lucky Strike complex. So that's what one of the companies in there do. In other words, they send out products that people buy online. That's one of them.
Okay.
One of the others does some sort of internet development. They work on websites and things, and they've got programmers and creators in there who help create and improve people's websites. Is what one of them does. And Ralph, I'm not entirely sure what the third one does, but it is related to commerce on the internet.
Okay. Well, shut down Commonwealth Ball.
Uh-huh.
I think Imperial come in there, I think.
Yeah. There's been 2 owners. I think there's been 2 owners in between then and now.
Yeah, one of them for Kentucky.
That's right.
Brad.
Yeah, and they actually made cigarettes in there to some extent.
Yeah, he made them. He makes up in Kentucky.
Yeah. And so there's been some cigarettes made in there since it shut down, but they're not doing that now.
So now. Okay, man, I thank you for your advice, and I don't know.
Well, you're welcome. You're
Yes,
welcome,
sir.
Ralph. Always good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you, man. You take care, man.
You too. Phone line's open now. There's a number up there that you can call, and the email address, keneccleslive@gmail.com. I'm going to try to read this without knocking my earbud out again, or without knocking my ear off entirely, which would also cause a situation. This one says, Ken, did you ever see the video? Oh, yeah, I was going to mention this. Ken, did you ever see the video of the airplane that landed on the car? I did. Somebody emailed me that. And thanks to, well, I won't mention his name. He might not want his name mentioned on the air. But he did email me that video, and I did see it. And that's one of the craziest things that I have ever seen. And it was, if you haven't seen it, I may be the only person in the world who hadn't seen it. But just in case there's another one of you out there who hasn't seen it yet, the video was taken by somebody in the car that was behind the car that the airplane landed on. And in the video is taken through their windshield, and you can see the car in front, and then you see the airplane come into the frame from the top and land right on top of the car. And then, of course, the car starts to slow down and swerves a little bit, and then the airplane slides off the car. The airplane winds up kind of half in the median. It's a 4-lane highway. Airplane winds up sort of half in the median and half out onto the highway. And it certainly had some significant damage, but the cockpit, where the people would be, that's all intact. And I'm told nobody was injured in the car, which is a miracle. And then one more miracle is all those cars out there at interstate speed, is no other cars drove into the car or the airplane after it was all over. So there are a lot of things that could have made that a whole lot worse than it was, but thank the Lord, none of those particular things happened, and everybody was all right. But oh, that was an amazing thing to see. And again, thanks to, I won't mention his name, for sending me that video. I do appreciate it. Let's see. This is Ken. I'm wondering, what time do you put your Christmas tree up? There seems to be some disagreement among people as to when is the right time to put your Christmas tree up. So I know that many people in the world, I don't know about this next part, I know that many people in the world take their behavioral cues from you and the other folks at Star News. Don't do that, folks. So I'm just curious as to when you put your tree up. Well, this year, we put up our tree, my wife and I, our trees. Actually, we have two. We put up the indoor tree. We got one indoors, and then my wife decorates one on the front porch. The indoor tree we put up on the weekend after Thanksgiving is when we put the tree up. Now, not everybody agrees, as the emailer implies. Not everybody agrees on when you should put up your Christmas tree. So I try not to ask. I try not to ask anybody, because not only do you get a lot of different opinions when you ask somebody, if you ask somebody and if they don't approve of when you put yours up, then sometimes you get a scolding, and I've had scoldings more than once about my Christmas tree schedule, and I'll probably get another one tonight. But we put ours up the weekend after Thanksgiving is traditionally when we do that. Now, that's a lot earlier. I know for me, it's the tree date has gotten a lot earlier than it used to be. I think that's true probably for everybody. Because when I was a kid, we didn't put up the Christmas tree until about a week or 10 days before Christmas, which would have been, the window would have been like December 15th to December 18th, as I recall, is the window during which we would put up the Christmas tree. Of course, the weekend after Thanksgiving, as I do it now, is a whole lot earlier than that. It seems to me almost everybody puts the trees up earlier than they used to. And I know some folks who complain about that. I have been told very sternly, very, very sternly, by, I guess, a Christmas tree purist, we might say, that I put my tree up way too early and that I ought not to do that. But I do it anyway. Well, here's the way I see it. I mean, the Christmas tree is to be enjoyed. At least I enjoy it. I mean, why else you have it if it's not to be enjoyed? So to me, you put it up the week after Thanksgiving, then you got a whole month, actually a little more than a whole month, to enjoy it. Whereas if you put it up on December 22nd, then you have a much briefer window in which to enjoy it. At least that's how I see it. So that's when mine went up, on the weekend after Thanksgiving. And that's how I like it. Phone line open. The number is up there. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Can you tell me if somebody has bought the Penrose Mall in Reedsville?
Yes, a developer named Tom Holderby has bought the Penrose Mall.
Well, I am so glad to hear that. Hope they've got some plans for it because it looks awful sitting out there. Hate to drive by it. It looks so bad.
Well, they got plans. He says he's going to get retail back in there. He's going to maybe even put 2 or 3 restaurants in there, he hopes.
Well, when is all of that supposed to happen?
It's going to take, the time frame, I think, is like 6 to 8 months, but they're already working inside, getting it cleaned up and refurbished.
Well, I will really look forward to that. I don't remember when it was open and when it was busy and when people used to go out there and shop. I'm happy to hear somebody has bought it and has some plans for it.
Well, I think a whole lot of people are happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And again, the hope and the expectation, as I understand it, is by, say, summer of next year, 6 to 8 months, the Penrose Mall, after all these years, the Penrose Mall will be lively and viable again. That's certainly what we hope for. And the plan is for, I forget exactly how he put it. He said he wants to get tenants in there, retail establishments, who have a following. He wants to get businesses in there who already have a following and who already have loyal customers, so that, right from the start, people will be in there buying and shopping, and let's hope that'll happen. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening to you, Ken.
Good evening.
Couple of, a little diverse subject, but let me back up to your Christmas tree story for just a minute.
Okay.
Let me ask you a personal question, and I hesitate to do this, but I will.
All right.
Do you have an artificial or a natural tree indoors?
I have an artificial tree.
Therein lies the answer to how cultural change to trees going up earlier than they ever were before.
All right. Expound on that.
Well, in my generation and in yours, when we were growing up, we had a natural tree.
True.
And as we full know, you don't put a natural tree up that early and expect to have anything left by the time Christmas comes around, much less anything left that you that's on. You know what I'm saying? All the needles have fallen off. It's
Well,
dried
yeah.
off.
It gets messy, and to some extent, it gets dangerous.
Exactly. You know, like you, I had an artificial. I don't put it up. My wife and I had an artificial tree for a long time. But it
What-
was that change that allowed the trees to go up earlier now than they were before.
In fact, you can just leave it up. You leave it up all year now if you want to. I know people who don't even take it down. They take the Christmas decorations off, but they leave the tree out there because it looks kind of like a big house plant.
Exactly. You know, and people who can, who'll decorate it with other seasonal things or whatever, or just,
Sure.
absolutely. But the point being is that was one of those cultural shifts that happened in different generations. And you and I, this is the third generation we've been through now. So these are the changes that have happened in that period of time to the culture itself.
I agree with everything you've said, but I will add this. I am acquainted with folks, or two that I can think of as I sit here, who also now have artificial trees, but they still don't put it up until a week before Christmas. So there are a few holdouts.
I've known people that put it up like you do at the, right after Thanksgiving. I've known certain families where it was their family tradition to literally put their Christmas tree up on Christmas Eve.
Now that I never experienced. I know that's a tradition with some people, but I've never known anybody who doesn't put it up until Christmas Eve.
I will acknowledge that I've only known one family that did it that way, but I do know of one family that's their tradition.
Well, I realize that is a tradition for some folks. It's just one that I never saw up close.
A rare breed. Now, change the subject if I could.
Okay.
I saw a documentary a couple days ago that set me to thinking.
Mm-hmm.
The documentary was on gambling and actually was on pinball machines.
Right.
And how they were actually a gambling device when they were first conceived and were outlawed in New York for a long blah, 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 blah. Sent me to thinking, do you know of any place where somebody could go put a quarter or two in a pinball machine anymore?
The only place I know of where you can do that is in the Pinball Machine Museum. There's a pinball museum in Asheville. And you go in there
really?
and play, but I don't know of anywhere else.
There's a pinball museum in Asheville.
Yes.
Okay, so now I need to do a little more research then, because I growing up as a kid in the late '60s, we used to frequent the bowling alley,
Mm-hmm.
but we couldn't tell our parents we were there to play pinball or shoot pool because they were bad games. So
it was evil. It was
Right.
Yeah. It had a bad reputation playing pinball.
But my parents' and my grandparents' generation, oh no, you could go bowling, but you'd better not play that pinball machine that's in there.
No, I was if I had been reported to have been playing pinball somewhere, I would have been in some difficulty.
But I just saw this documentary, and like I said, I grew up playing it a little bit in places like bowling alleys, and I don't frequent any bowling alleys anymore or anything. And I just wondered if there was any place that you could go play pinball anymore.
Well, there must be. I mean, surely somewhere there is a pinball machine where you can go and put a coin in and play. I don't know where it is, but there must be some. So, I mean, it can't be that there are not any left anywhere, can it?
I would be my hope anyway. So let me put it out there to your audience and viewership, if I could. If anybody knows where I could go play a pinball machine, I'd love to know where that is.
Well, now we of course we're getting we're getting very, very much on the edge here of promoting juvenile delinquency. I guess I guess you're past the age where that would be an issue.
Well, I think still 70-something probably qualifies me to be past the juvenile delinquency stage.
But if my mother knew that I not only sanctioned pinball but went on television and promoted it, I don't know what she would say.
Hopefully, your mother's not listening.
Probably not. Okay, folks, who knows where this man can go and waste his time and risk his morality and fritter away his youth playing pinball. If anybody knows of a place, let us know.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate your time. Have a good evening.
Well, thanks for calling. All right, there must be a pinball machine out there somewhere. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello? Oh, well, I like that. Phone line is up there. You can call us on that number. You can send us an email at keneckleslive@gmail.com. Phone call or email, whichever works best for you. And an email has worked best for this person who says, shame. Shame is what the emailer says. Shame on you for promoting the devil's own recreation, pinball. Don't you have anything better to do than to pollute our society with the evils of pinball? Shame, I say, again, I say, shame. Well, emailer, I think we get the point there. The point being, I guess, shame. So thank you for that input. If somebody has any different sort of input, perhaps knowledge of where a person might walk into the darkness and play pinball, and we're looking for a working pinball machine is what we're looking for here. So if somebody can help out with that, then let us know, because we have a thirst for evil that needs to be quenched. And you know how it is with thirst for evil. You just got to quench it sometime. Okay, we'll see what this is. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Ken. Called last week about talk.
Yeah. Right.
Able to get a.
Okay.
If you got a set pieces,
Mm-hmm.
is that or does your
The cell phone gets location information straight from the satellite.
what is the difference? So it wouldn't matter whether you've got a cell phone signal,
It
the
would.
satellite signal. So
Right.
what's the difference?
The difference it makes is that your phone gets the location information straight from the satellite, but unless you have a map downloaded, the map is not there to help you see where exactly you are.
So if you get your cell phone and you download some
preload
kind
a
of a
map.
map,
Right.
if you get lost somewhere, it gives you the same information. Tells you where you're at, but
Right.
if you've got that loaded on your cell phone,
Yeah.
you're lost where
Yeah, you have to you have to have a map that's loaded into your phone, because if you don't have cell phone service, you can't get a map from the cell network.
Well, that's something you pointed out to me.
Right. They do.
Thank you.
They do. Again, your cell phone, even if you don't have a cell tower nearby, your phone will get the GPS information straight from the satellite, but you'll just see, it only gives you coordinates. Unless you have a map to see where those coordinates place you, you still don't know where you are. And that's one of the main differences. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, again, I know you ain't supposed to receive one phone call.
Well, what you
But
got some?
people to Christmas lights and all,
Yeah.
and to put them up and everything.
Uh huh. Yep, I've heard that song. I have.
All right, I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, thank you. Yep, heard that one. Yep, heard that one. Oh, wait, there's more. What else I was going to say? Oh, I was going to say something else about the phones. Some of the newer model smartphones now are satellite enabled. Now, if you have one of these, you'd have to, maybe you have one, or if you're wondering if you have one, just check your phone documentation and see. But these are the newer smartphones are what they call satellite enabled. Now, if you've got one of these satellite enabled cell phones, then you can be in an area where there is no cell phone service, and you can communicate with the satellite. You can actually send an emergency message through the satellite network. If you have a satellite-enabled smartphone, you can send what they call an SOS message that will go to emergency services and also convey your location by satellite. Now, you would not be able to make a voice call, an actual voice call, through the satellite network with one of these phones. But you can do the emergency message, and you can get information on your location if your smartphone is satellite enabled. So that's something else to bear in mind before you go out there. Because as mentioned in my other conversation, there are lots of places not too far from here that you can go to and not have any cell phone service. So you need to be aware of these kinds of things. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Can answer that question. If you're in the Linville Gorge, have you ever?
I've never been in there.
If you're in the Linville Gorge, you get down the creek. Mountains National.
And this is stuff people need to know before they go to these places.
Well, if you're planning any kind of long hike in any of those places, if you're going by yourself, you make sure somebody knows where you're going, when you're going.
Indeed so. Know and plan before you go. Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Our phone line is open now at that number up there. And as always, you can send us an email at keneckleslive@gmail.com. And the emailer says, Ken, any word on what businesses or maybe what restaurants that they will put in the Penrose Mall when it reopens? No, there's no specific word that I know of on that. As much as I know is what the developer, Tom Holderby, said. He wants to get tenants in there who already have a customer base, already have a following, so that as soon as those stores open up, they will have customers in there. As far as the restaurants, to my knowledge, he hasn't named any restaurants. But my understanding, again, of what he said is that he'd like to have, I think he said he'd like to have maybe 2 or 3 restaurants in the Penrose Mall. And I've also heard this, that he has plans. I haven't heard him say this, but one of the stories I read attributed this to him, that he also is thinking about putting an apartment building out there. I think what the story said was maybe a 3-story apartment building, either next to or maybe even attached to the Penrose Mall. So clearly what he has in mind is a major development. It'll be, I guess, safe to say one of the larger developments that we've seen in Reidsville as far as retail and residential in combination. So it sounds pretty exciting. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Kennedy, this is Jerry. I'd just like to say, sir, a few months I saw on the news where you got off Air Force One to visit Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Trump's back, kissed him on the cheek, and I bet you it had something to do with him being the best guy in California. You know, better looking than Trump. And thanks for taking my call, sir.
Okay, well, thanks for calling, Jerry. Good to hear from you. Phone lines open at that number. Email address, keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we have just a few minutes left for your phone calls and your emails. So if you'd like to take part in the program tonight, by all means, give us a call. And let's go here. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Ho, ho.
Look, if you have plug in headphones, maybe. Obviously, you don't know what you're doing. It's Pretty Man, folks. Obviously, you don't know what you're doing. Do you have headphones? Have somebody show you where to plug in the headphones. We'll wait. Take your time.
Said he go.
No, you're not. Folks, this man is not Santa Claus. Be advised, not Santa Claus. Especially any young people who might be watching. This person you're hearing is not, I repeat, not Santa Claus. Oh, please.
How do you know? Ho, ho, ho. How do you know? I am not Santa Claus.
Well, everybody knows what you sound like now with your stupid voice changer. Plus your phone number. Don't you understand? I can see your phone number right up there on my computer screen. You don't understand that, do you? He's thinking about it.
Oh. What you will bring me. What I will tell you for Christmas.
Mm-mm. Well, if you do that, will you then go away? Can we agree to that?
Ho, ho. Underwear. You get underwear.
Well, I hope you at least bring me the right size.
Idiot size.
Okay. He's gone. I apologize that you had to hear that. But, you know, I was afraid that was going to happen when Charles mentioned him early in the show. I said, you shouldn't have mentioned his name. He's going to call. So let that be a lesson to us all. Let's not ever mention Pretty Man because it just encourages him to do the kind of thing there that you have just heard. And certainly nobody wants to hear that. Email. Hello, Ken. I have input on the Christmas tree. I have never got an artificial Christmas tree. I think an artificial Christmas tree is boring and non-festive, says the emailer. So I always get a real tree. But as the caller a while ago pointed out, if you get a real tree, you can't just put it up anytime you want to, for obvious reasons. So for that reason, I'll put my Christmas tree up this weekend, which will put me just a few days ahead of Christmas. But I love a real tree. I don't get the same enjoyment out of an artificial tree. I say if people who are happy with an artificial tree, fine, it's their business, and not my place to find fault with them. But I'm a real tree guy, and I accept the fact that I have to wait until closer to Christmas to put it up. But put my vote down. If you're taking a survey, well, we're not, but if you're taking a survey, put my vote down for a real Christmas tree, says the emailer. All right. Thank you, emailer. We appreciate that. Yeah, do you remember when people used to go to the stores? It would start after Thanksgiving in all the stores downtown, and you'd have to be old like you old, to remember this, but they would put out the big toy displays in the department stores. And I remember I used to spend I don't know how many happy hours in the week before Christmas in those department stores looking at all those toy displays. I'll bet you remember that, don't you? Plus, did you ever get a gift you really wanted, a toy you really wanted on Christmas, and then it broke the first day? Oh, yeah. Yes to both. I remember when they used to put the big toy displays. What was that store on Scale Street? Was it United? Was it United Department Store? Was that the name of it? And they had a basement, and they'd put all the toys in the basement. Like the weekend after Thanksgiving is when they'd put all those toys out in the basement. That is fun. That is fun. To go down there and see those toys. As far as the toy that breaks on Christmas, I had this helicopter. I had this helicopter thing, and it had like a spring-loaded rotor, and you'd put it in a little crank device, and you'd crank it and tighten up the spring, and then you'd push a button, and the helicopter would release, and the spring would turn the rotor, and the thing would fly. The helicopter would actually fly. I mean, we would fly. Seriously. And I did it one time, and it was just thrilling. And I did it the second time, and the spring broke. This was like, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I probably got the helicopter maybe at 5:45. And by 6:30, it had taken its last flight. Yeah, that's a big disappointment when they break the very first day. That's all the time we have for Star Talk. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Eccles.